My schoolmate.
Oh, my schoolmate, how are you this morning? You know, I miss those times we used to hang out in school together. Good morning. Rufai on fire.
Which school? In Zimbabwe or in South Africa?
He's Umukwata.
Or Umukwata.
We went to school in Umukwata together.
How
How many days did we spend together? It was a nice morning.
A long time ago.
We speak English on an international channel.
Please,
Good
I
morning.
don't like assertions like that.
Yes. No. All right. Very
Balance
good.
it out.
All right.
Policy maker.
Rufai on fire.
Is it an empirical fact? That you went to school in Umukwata?
Well, we will bring out the evidence. Don't worry.
Well, all right. Vice President Atiku Abubakar has challenged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's assertion that Belarusian businessman Alexander Zygmunt, who introduced to Nigerians during the launch of his renewed Hope agricultural mechanization program on Monday, was his schoolmate at a Chicago university. Tinubu had referred to Zygmunt as his neighbor and schoolmate in Chicago. However, Atiku's media office countered the president's claim, stating that Zygmunt was born in 1966, which would have made him only 13 years old in 1979 when Tinubu claimed to have graduated from the university. Atiku's statement questioned the credibility of Tinubu's claim and also raised concerns about Zygmunt's alleged involvement in questionable transactions in Africa, citing international media reports. Well, Atiku's media aide released this press statement on Paul Ibe's Twitter account, and I'll read an excerpt of the statement. They wrote, "Are we now to believe that the Guinness Book of Records missed the story of a 13-year-old Belarusian prodigy graduating from an American university alongside Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Even more troubling is the president's casual association with a man whose international reputation is mired in scandal. This leads us to ask, with the solemn weight of patriotism and the urgency of truth, Mr. President, Nigerians deserve to know why a man born in 1966 is being paraded as your classmate who graduated in 1979. Were you taught in the same classroom or in different decades? Well, in the meantime, Zygmunt made headlines in African media in 2021 after being detained for 12 days in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Zygmunt's Dubai-based company, Aftrade DMCC, specified that the reason for the incident was allegations of arms dealing, which Zygmunt strongly denied. Zygmunt's lawyers stated that the arrest in the DRC was politically motivated and that ultimately he was cleared of any wrongdoing by DRC authorities. Well, here's a press conference he granted after the incident.
We became a huge victims of wrong information supplied from somewhere to the security services of Democratic Republic of Congo about our arms dealing or about some other accusations. And we came to a situation that without explanation, so in detention center, we spent almost 12 days without any phone connection. So they cross-checking us because of this information that we became victims of this wrong, totally shocked information that was distributed in the mass media about us. So after all these ways that we get through in detention center, after all cross-checking and all questions that was done, it was prepared a big report that we are totally cleared by 4 security agencies of Democratic Republic of Congo, that we don't have nothing to do with any other trafficking, that we don't have nothing to do with any training activity, that we are legal agricultural businessmen that came for agriculture and mining projects, like we do in many other African countries, to Democratic Republic of Congo. When they finalize their cross-checking and all security questions and all these procedures, we were released today in the morning with a full explanation that it was totally cleared by all agencies of security of Democratic Republic of Congo, and we are welcome to do any business in Democratic Republic of Congo if you want, because now we're fully cleared, and these victims of wrong information is totally taken out from us, and we are ready to be investors in Congo, and we are welcome. This was the message when they release us finally today.
All right, I thought it was important to play this video. This was back in 2021. I guess that's the response to the Atiku media team who has questioned his dealings in Africa. He said that he was, arrested wrongfully and that he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Yes. So, but also the question about his attendance at the Chicago School University. I don't know if it was Chicago State University that Tinubu said, but he just said a university, correct? In Chicago. I don't know if it's the actual...
No, it said schoolmates.
Schoolmates, but at where? Did he say CSU? Or did he say at a university in Chicago?
No,
that's the question.
Just said schoolmates.
Schoolmates,
So what's the university that...
We don't know now. That's why we're asking.
You don't know the university your president...
No, I know he went to Chicago, but he can go to multiple... I'm not defending anybody here.
Okay.
I'm just asking about facts. Okay. And, empirical facts. So, the cable did the Lord's work. They actually did a fact check. And, this is what they posted. This is from the cable. They said that Zygmunt, while speaking with Day Night TV, reportedly said that he was born on November 26, 1966 in Minsk. That's the capital of Belarus. This means he will be 59 years old by November 2025. In the interview, he was quoted as saying he earned a bachelor's degree from the Belarusian National Polytechnic University, where he studied in the Faculty of Robotics and Robotics Systems between 1985 and 1989. And he added that he studied business marketing at the University of Illinois, Chicago, in the United States. From 1991 to 1995, he equally received a master's degree from the university, that's University of Illinois in Chicago. He also said he once served in the Soviet Army from 1983 to 1985. This was, a video that, Cable had fact-checked. I just got some excerpts from that video, and these were from Zygmunt himself. So again, the question is, what university was the president talking about? Because Zygmunt has said with his own mouth that it was the University of Illinois, and we know that our president went to Chicago State University. Dr. Abati.
Okay. Well, I think that Polibe and his principal,
yes.
Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar, they have partisan reasons to play politics with this, And I said yesterday, election season is over. Yeah. We're running a government now, so we can focus on the running of government. I will not want to join anybody to call the president of Nigeria a liar. No. 2, let us stress the point that he said schoolmate and neighbor.
Yes, we stressed that.
He did not say they were classmates. He did not say, the president did not say he attended the same school with Alexander Zygmunt. Schoolmate.
What's the schoolmate?
No, he said university at the end of the video. He said our university. Let me tell you what he said.
But what's a schoolmate?
Hold on, he said.
You just said he attended the same school, but he called it a school.
He didn't mention school.
Let me tell you what he said. Hold on, El-Rufai. Let me tell you what he said. He said that our university will be proud of us. So it was a university. It's not secondary school. It's not primary school. He said university.
Now says he attended University of Illinois, Chicago.
Exactly, good.
And what is in the public domain is about President Tinubu attending Chicago State University.
Those are the points.
So that's why, people will play politics with it. That the president of Nigeria probably does not know the university that he attended. So is it University of Illinois, Chicago, or Chicago State University? So that's why his political opponents would like to seize upon it. But as for Alexander Zygmunt, he's basically a businessman. Yes. He runs a group called AfriTrade. Now, the incident that occurred April 2021, he and 3 others were arrested in the Democratic Republic of Congo because they were labeled arms dealers.
Yes.
And they were said to be planning to organize a coup in the DRC. And he said, look, that was misinformation, disinformation. That he was just a businessman. He was going there to meet a foundation, Moise Kande Foundation. And he's also Zimbabwe's honorary consul in Belarus. So that's the source of his connection with Zimbabwe. There were no charges against him and the others. So you give him the benefit of the doubt. He was not charged. He was not tried. They were released after 2 weeks detention. 12 days.
Yes.
Well, almost 2 weeks. So that is the story about that.
Yes.
I don't think we should hold that against him. The biggest office that anybody can possibly occupy, some people say, is to be a friend of the president. You'll be surprised. I've seen people in this country who will go and print a business card. They'll say friend of the president. And they say it's a very powerful position. However,
we know that.
What I said yesterday is that Mr. Zygmunt is helping with this Belarus connection, agriculture, training of persons, which is what he does.
Yes.
And he says he's involved in other African countries. What we're asking for is, what are the details? Was there transparency and accountability? Did he bid for it? Was it a competitive bidding? And, you know, how is this going to be processed? Earlier this morning, we talked about agriculture. The Brazilians also investing about $1 billion in addition to $2.5 billion. And then we were saying, how do you process all of this? Technical management, administrative management, training, and would there be the involvement of states? Because the federal government of Nigeria does not own farmlands in the states. Yes. It's Zamfara, Niger, where you have Farmer Bago, and in Lagos, where you have Origin Tech Group, partnering with Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is 60 today, by the way. You know, so those are the questions we can raise. Let's focus on the issues. This matter of whether University of Illinois or Chicago State University or whatever. I made the point yesterday. You don't need a school certificate to be president of Nigeria. In fact, once you can speak English and you attend maybe a seminar in Umukwata, Delta State, you can be president of Nigeria.
Which is unfortunate. Dr. Abati, we have to
why is it unfortunate?
It's unfortunate.
We have had president who could not produce primary school certificates.
What do you call it? Grade A people to rule us, like you always say. Anyways, at the end of the day, I believe that, you know, the presidency will respond to the Atiku media aid. And of course, a lot of Nigerians who have asked what university the president was talking about. We'll take another story now. The interview granted by former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, to Arise News on Monday, June 23rd, has been trending online, especially because he made strong criticisms against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration. While during the interview with Charles Anyogolo on Arise Prime Time, El-Rufai claimed that President Tinubu never really liked him and that they really did not get along. The former governor also took credit for Tinubu's emergence as president, asserting that he feels responsible for removing, in his words, urban bandits who want to destroy Nigeria. El-Rufai said a coalition party will send them packing and fix the country. He also claimed that the APC has 91% disapproval rating, which he termed the worst in Nigeria's history. Let's take a look before we take some reactions.
Bola Tinubu was never someone I was close to, even in the party, because in the party I was a Buhari boy. Bola has his boys, Buhari had his boys. We are Buharists, no apologies. So Bola Tinubu never really liked me. We never really got along. Is he perfect? No. Some people said Bola Tinubu is not his name. Nobody knows his birth date for sure. Nobody knows who his parents are for sure. There are all kinds of questions.
And that didn't bother you at the time?
It did bother me because I know my name, I know my parents, I know my birth date, I know I have classmates, okay? And there are no questions about whether I graduated from Ahmad Bello University or not, okay? All those questions were there about about Tinubu. But for me, the question was, he was governor of Lagos, yes? How did he govern Lagos? He governed Lagos in a very inclusive manner. He had an Igbo guy as a commissioner. He had another Hausa man from Daura as one of his special advisors. In Lagos, in 1999, that was almost unique. Nigerians are tired of the APC. We know that. We have polled that. There is 91% disapproval of this administration across the country. 91% disapproval. It's the worst in Nigeria's history. Everybody is saying we have a problem. This country is targeted for destruction by a collection of urban bandits. Let's come together, send them back home, and put this country back on track. I have no ambition, okay? I just feel that having contributed to bringing about this tragedy to Nigeria by contributing to the emergence of Bola Tinubu as president, I should contribute in my last lap, okay? Because I'm 65, I should be retiring. In my last lap, let me contribute towards removing this evil that I believe will destroy Nigeria if left unchecked.
Wow, El-Rufai. Well, the Director General of the National Institute for Cultural Orientation, Otumba Biodun Ajiboye, was on Arise Prime Time last night. He said El-Rufai should be disregarded because he's a time waster. Let's take a look.
Malam El-Rufai should be disregarded. He's a rabble-rouser. He's a rabble-rouser because, one, this was the Kaduna State that he ran for 8 years. He can't even go back there freely because the members of House of Assembly, they took a vote on his government, and it was a vote of no confidence on his government. So what is his pride? Why does he think that the northern Nigeria will follow him in his dance of Makaba? Why does he think so? Why does he think that he controls the northern Nigeria? Who gave him that confidence that he's Mr. Right in Nigeria, and what he says makes meaning? As far as Nigerians are concerned, Malam El-Rufai is a time waster, a man who has no understanding of loyalty, a man who has been publicly called a pathological liar, and he didn't even mind. He has no reputation. He's deficient in character. He's defective in behavior. All he knows is about himself.
Rufai is enough. Rufai has been screaming here. Wow, Ajiboye is special, really. But of course, like I said, that this interview has been trending. A lot of reactions, and I'll just take this one before we discuss. This is Easy, Mr. Easy. He wrote, El-Rufai, sir, were you able to fix the problem of insecurity in Kaduna when you were the governor? What you couldn't fix for 8 years, your predecessor did it in less than 2 years. Talk is cheap. Typical Niger politician. Meanwhile, the Kaduna state government released a press statement on Tuesday refuting claims made by El-Rufai that projects commissioned by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Kaduna were initiated by his administration. The statement clarifies that out of the 3 projects commissioned by the president, the Vocational Training and Skills Development Institute and the 100 CNG buses were fully initiated and completed by Governor Uba Sani's administration. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu Specialist Hospital, however, while conceived during a previous administration, was only 53% complete and lacked equipment when Governor Sani took office. The Sani administration prioritized and completed the hospital. The Kaduna state government emphasized that the achievements are verifiable and are part of Governor Uba Sani's commitment to good governance and development. Rufai, over to you.
Okay, let me address both sides.
Yes, please.
In spirit of balance. Balenciaga.
Yes, always balance. Yes.
The same El-Rufai that President Tinubu went to Kaduna and said, I need you, El-Rufai. The same El-Rufai that led a consortium of governors and they said that the Supreme Court should prevail over Naira policy. Same El-Rufai. The same El-Rufai that helped Baba answer question in Shatter ass.
Exactly. Team sheep.
Baba called El-Rufai, he answer question, he shine.
Yes.
Nasiru, good one, Nasiru.
Yeah.
Same El-Rufai.
They were distributing questions.
Distributing question in the favor of team sheep. Nasiru pick one, answer it.
Yes, I remember that.
The same El-Rufai that was front and center, moving everywhere, that I even heard that he was part of those that made the agenda and say, no, power must come to the south in the party. The same El-Rufai is malicious, is liar today. Please, the likes of the man that came to say that about El-Rufai, why didn't they say that about El-Rufai in February 2023? El-Rufai is a devil now, Abi. You see, that's why I don't take politicians seriously and I can't do politics. Oto, Timominu, I will always speak the truth and say it the way it is. On the flip side of it, let me now go to El-Rufai's part. If El-Rufai had been given minister, are we going to be hearing all of this?
Question.
If alignment and agenda, are we going to be seeing all of this? The same El-Rufai that went ahead and supported President Tinubu's candidacy and everything, even answer question for Tinubu, is not the one saying Tinubu is not competent again.
That's what he said.
The same El-Rufai that stood tall, that took a consortium of governors to face the minds of the CBN that time because of the Naira policy that they felt they were going to affect them. The same El-Rufai that went with Tinubu on the campaign and sold Tinubu to Nigerians and says this man is going to revolutionize things. The same El-Rufai that was preparing to be able to take his rightful position in the government that he fought for is now saying that same government is sold towards Nigerians. It's not an aberration, will not come in 2027.
So they are urban bandits.
So the question is, if El-Rufai claims that Tinubu is a bad product now, why did he sell Tinubu to Nigerians then? So did he know it was a bad product then, or it was because he didn't get position in Tinubu's government? That's why he changed man now.
All right. All right.
Hope I'm able to balance.
Yes, you did very, very well. You did very well.
said that there's a point of correction.
What was the correction?
You said that El-Rufai that stood tall. Are we talking about the same Nasi El-Rufai?
Yes, it stands tall.
Okay.
Dr. Abati,
I know a difference.
It's a giant.
Okay.
It stands tall.
All right.
Okay. It's not
But the
a
issue
posture.
in that interview was when he was talking about a certain poll that had been conducted.
Right.
And he was saying that the polling, that there is 78% disapproval of President Tinubu in the southeast and the north, and that even in the southwest, President Tinubu doesn't have up to 50% disapproval, and that even in Lagos, it's Lagos that he said is 78%, and that in the southeast and the north is 91%.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that.
what is
polling
the
is reliable. I thought we were going to talk about empirical.
The polling is. Empirical is the polling.
Yeah,
where is the source of the poll? What's the methodology?
That's what I expected you to say.
Empirical.
Instead of saying somebody is standing tall. When we know that, the Rufai that I know is
all right.
He's a different person.
But at the end of the day, he was fact-checked by the Kaduna state government, saying that he commissioned those projects that obviously we can fact-check, and it's the Uba Sani administration that initiated 2 out of those 3 projects. Well, we'll continue to follow up on the story. Bimbai, I'd like you to discuss this story. Let me take my breath. We'll take another story now. Rita Ushe, popularly known as Raya, who made headlines after criticizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration over economic hardship, is reportedly being punished by the National Youth Service Corps. A video featuring Raya went viral on social media after she called Tinubu a terrible president and subsequently promoted a 30-day challenge among young people to voice their complaints about the high cost of living in Nigeria. The National Youth Service Corps reportedly extended Raya's service year by 2 months as punishment for the viral video. Raya had only 1 month left of her mandatory national service before the extension. The development has been condemned by a cross-section of Nigerians. Let me take Omoyele Showere's tweet. He wrote, "This Tinubu regime might go down with Rita Raya's National Youth Service Corps matter. This is not acceptable. We will mobilize down to the passing out parade, except Rita is allowed to complete her NYSC national service without let or hindrance." #revolution now. Vimbai, this story was quite alarming and it's been trending, and we do need a response from NYSC as to why that happened. What is the reason why her service was extended by 2 months?
Absolutely, because at the time when the story came out and it gained traction, there were assurances that she wasn't going to be penalized or victimized or punished in any way for having said that statement. You remember we went through the code of conduct for NYSC. We unpacked it in so many different ways. And ultimately, what we all agreed was the fact that being a copper does not restrict your freedom of speech whatsoever. Yeah. Your right that is enshrined within the Constitution. Is calling a president a terrible president a derogatory thing? We agreed that it's not. And even the president has gone on to say that he is open to criticism, that he should allow criticism. But we made the same point here on this table that the president is saying this, but unfortunately, the various sycophants in various places don't follow that same advice. They can't take it. They're unable to take it. And it's unfortunate because this is why there are several stains that are being brushed on various aspects of this administration, not necessarily because what the president is doing himself, but because you see what the governors are doing at state level. Now you see at NYSC level, this innocent girl who's being punished for this. What type of society are we breeding if we're now afraid of a young girl who's come online to express her opinion? It paints a very gloomy outlook on where we are, especially with the issue of freedom of speech. Absolutely. And you remember there was that diplomatic communique on Democracy Day, which also flagged the fact that they're concerned about the abuse of this freedom of speech, as well as they'd also highlighted the Cybercrime Act. So this is something that especially we in the media insist on continuing to highlight, because you allow one thing and it's a slippery slope before the scope increases, and before you know it, media houses will be censored and so forth. That's why it's important to nip it in the bud. I'm glad Showore is taking this up, as a matter that he is concerned with, because it is absolutely unfair. So the NYSC should come out clearly and explain why her service is being extended. We wait for that communication.
Well said, Vimbai. Well said. We'll take our story under Milestones now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday hosted Queen Mary Elizabeth of Denmark at the State House in Abuja, marking her first visit to Nigeria in her capacity as patron of the United Nations Population Fund. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, co-hosted the reception for Queen Mary Elizabeth of Denmark at the State House in Abuja. The visit was aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation between Nigeria and Denmark. President Tinubu acknowledged the contributions of Danish firms like AP Moller Maersk and Grovefords to Nigeria's infrastructure, and also praised Denmark's support for internally displaced persons in conflict-affected regions. He emphasized the potential of Nigeria's livestock and dairy sector for food security and job creation, suggesting that challenges like farmer herders conflict could be transformed into economic opportunities through investment and education. Queen Mary expressed gratitude for the reception and solidarity with Nigeria regarding the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast. She affirmed her commitment to strengthening relations and exploring investment opportunities in the green economy, trade and business development for women, children health, and cultural and educational exchanges. She also commended the First Lady's Renewed Hope initiative and plans to visit AP Moller Maersk's terminal in Lagos. We have the Vice President of Brazil also visiting Nigeria. We're seeing Queen Mary, her first visit. Welcome to Nigeria. I love those fabrics that were displayed at the moment. Well, we'll take another story on the milestones. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, on his 60th birthday. Today, June 25th, 2025, marks the 60th birthday of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Governor Sanwo-Olu is the 6th democratically elected governor of Lagos State. President Tinubu highlighted Sanwo-Olu's long-standing public service career, which began under his mentorship, saying that the governor has held significant positions, including Managing Director and CEO of the Lagos State Property Development Corporation and a 3-time commissioner in various ministries. The president also commended the governor's dedication to Lagos State's development and his efforts in continuing the transformative master plan initiated during his time as Lagos State Governor from 1999 to 2007. The president specifically praised the completion of the blue and red rail lines and the ongoing work on the Purple Line. He urged the governor to continue focusing on impactful projects for Lagosians, such as the 4th Mainland Bridge and the Freedom Way to VGC Road. We at Arise News also wish the governor a very happy 60th. Congratulations, really, Sanwo-Eko. I also got a message from Toke Benson, who is the Commissioner for Cultural Tourism. She says that she wished him a happy birthday as well from the creative sector, our governor. What would I say, as always? Eko ni baje. Happy. I always say that. I love Lagos. Yes. You know what? He knows what it means. He knows what it means.
He's having a praise and worship session.
Oh, really? Okay.
At a hotel right now.
Okay. Are you going to be there?
We know. Sanwo-Eko.
But they say it's strictly by invitation.
Okay.
I'm not saying we should
from Arise News
come from Agege and,
but you know that can happen.
And Idumota. Let them not go there. If you don't have invitation card, we will not enter. But there are implications. Well,
all right. Happy 60th birthday, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Well, let's take our good news report now, highlighting a charity football match held at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, to celebrate and support 88-year-old former coach for Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea, Monday Sinclair. Monday Sinclair, an iconic former football coach, often referred to as a godfather of Ijaw football and known for his development of young players, most notably Finidi George and Taribo West is currently battling an ailment at a hospital with little or no financial support. Arise News correspondent Ovieteme George, alongside two supporters, spearheaded the Monday Sinclair Celebration football program to raise funds for the former coach. The football charity event featured ex-international players and other stakeholders who strongly advocated for Nigeria to implement a welfare scheme to address the health needs of retired and aging football coaches who have contributed significantly to the sport at all levels. Altogether, the event raised 30 million naira in welfare support for Coach Sinclair.
This is awesome. Daddy was looking forward to this event. Even in the hospital bed, he was talking about it. I want to thank the organizers of this event. Ovietame, God bless you and bless you. Tony Alabra, Timmy, everybody here.
I thank every one of you that brought that money to this amount. Let the Almighty God bless you people abundantly in Jesus' name. Amen.
Ovieteme George, Arise News.
Ovieteme George, I am so proud of you, really. This is such a huge deal. I love the story, and I thought that the message was quite apt. You know, raising funds for our sports heroes, really, at this point. A quick comment,
very
really.
Apt at a time where our sports heroes just died, and it feels like nothing more was going to be there for. If you remember the heroics of Monday Sinclair, you will know that he's a man that a lot more people should raise money for, and we just pray that he gets his health back and everything is well with him. But I just have one problem with Ovieteme. We've not seen fish from him all this while. He has not sent fish.
We are waiting for Ovieteme.
When I was in Bayelsa over the weekend, he gave me fish.
He gave me fish. Did you share implications from Bayelsa?
So congratulations to Ovietame George, to Alabra, and also ZionPrayerOutreachImovement. Those were the three persons that organized this charity event. They raised 19 million, which was also shown, but it went up to 30 million because other people felt encouraged and they contributed. The other thing, I mean, I like the idea very much, but most of the players had the pot bellies.
They're ex-international players. Okay, so you say they should keep fit.
But I think the thing is about welfare of sportsmen and sportswomen. That's very important. Monday Sinclair is a legend.
Complete.
Ex-Shark Sport coach, the man who discovered Richard Wobokri, Finidi George, and Taribo West.
Absolutely.
And yet, at old age, you know, this is the situation. I think we have to pay more attention to insurance for people who serve the country.
Yes, I love that.
But his accomplishments will be forever remembered in good light.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So guys, I'm just going to take you through some of the reactions coming from Twitter, you know, as regards to what Atiku has said here. Many people have just been, you know, talking about Tinubu introducing somebody who was said to be around 10 years old as at the time Tinubu is said to have graduated from Chicago State University, you know, which we don't know if he graduated or not. That's not even the topic now. The topic is how come somebody he said was his schoolmate, his classmate, was about 10 years or so when Tinubu was in Chicago State University. Now, Arise Television posted this same video on their handle on Twitter. And let me just take you through some of the reactions Nigerians have been reacting. Like this person said, criminal drug dealer lying through his teeth. Another person said, Dr. Abati sounding more foolish with each passing day trying to defend Tinubu. How can a schoolmate not attend same school? Why should the worst of us intellectually rule us? It seems Nigeria is above 55 at the most foolish of this country. Okay, it seems the Nigerians above 55 years are the most foolish in this country. And another person say Abati should have stick to his point that he wouldn't join anyone to insult the president rather than sounding stupid and clueless. Another person again said Reuben Abati is just trying to be clever by half. From the way you have been trying to defend Tinubu, are you secretly under the employ, I think you wanted to say employment of APC, a president publicly stated that he attended the same university with someone, and you are saying, and you are trying to gaslight Nigerians? And then another person say, Mr. Reuben Abati is not a truthful man. Another person again, Prince, said, if God was man, I believe he will be confused if grandpa will go to hell or heaven, because his life and everything about him is confusing, suspicious, and questionable. He's talking about Tinubu. And another person said, Reuben Abati is a mole in Arise TV. Take this to the bank. He has been defending fraud, pretending to be analytical. Rubbish. Another person said the president can lie for Africa. Then this person, King E, says, but who asked the corrupt certificate forger to introduce the fake classmate or schoolmate? Everything about Tinubu is suspicious. Abati definitely has a big corn in his throat. Hey. And another person say, Onye Ozioma said, suddenly Abati cannot explain what is schoolmate. Mad people everywhere. And another person said, this president, he now put the tears emoji. So Dr. Figo said, you can't be a trusted journalist and a politician at the same time. True journalism is a serious business and shouldn't be mixed with politics. Man said Alex was his good neighbor and schoolmate back in Chicago. So where is the lie? But is beyond packaging. No this and no peace. This person is a Tinubu's supporter, and he's saying that Tinubu said the truth. Another person said, Dr. Abati, you are a disgrace to journalism and you are working so hard to clear your name from EFCC office. I believe your children must be ashamed of you by now. Arise TV, you need to remove Abati from your station. He is a disgrace to Nigerians. Hey. And this other person say everything linked to Bat is always full of lies, fraud, drugs, a shameful leader. That's coming from Fola Diamond. Fola Diamond is saying everything from Tinubu is having a questionable character. So guys, these are some of the reactions coming from Nigerians after Tinubu introduced a Belarus businessman as his school friend and his classmate and all that. So Nigerians went to fast check and to know who this man is. They noticed that the man was far younger than when Tinubu was even in school, when Tinubu claimed he graduated from Chicago State University. So the question remains, how were they schoolmates? How were they neighbors when this man was far younger? As at the time this man was born, or as at the time Tinubu was graduating from that school, I think this man was around I think 10 to 13 years. Some people say 10 years, some people say 13 years. Okay, let's say any age between that 10 to 13. That was how old this man was as at the time Tinubu was said to have graduated. So how come two of them met in the university? That has been the question bothering Nigerians. We know that Tinubu has a lot of work to do to clear his name, and now he's even complicating issues, by trying to showcase a man who is having a very bad record to be his schoolmates. He said by now their school will be proud of what they've achieved. He is a president, and that one is also a successful businessman, that they will be proud. I mean, their school will be proud of what they've achieved so far. So it's not all about Tinubu's achievement. It's all about what he has been able to use that achievement to achieve in Nigeria. That is it. So guys, I don't know what you make of all this. Anytime Tinubu speaks, Nigerians must see something wrong in it. I think he shouldn't be speaking again, because he always throws Nigeria into confusion. All of a sudden calling a man who is far younger than him, his classmates, and that has set everywhere abuzz. Anyway guys, I don't know what you have to say about this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.